Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I understand the hour is late, relatively speaking, but as my karate instructor used to say after a rigorous test, it's all voluntary. So we're all here for a reason, and time should not be a constraint as we do our jobs here. So with that said, I just have, again, I know we made reference to a script, and I guess that part is a little bit challenging for me because these are important issues, and I don't think any of us are scripted here. I think we just speak passionately from our heart about our issues and concerns. And I understand your point of view, Mr. Moya. I just want to go back to some of the questions we've asked many times before about this bill. And part of the challenge, and I've made this very clear in the past, is that many of us value citizenship. One of my favorite activities is to go to Kingston when the naturalization ceremony occurs, and we have people from many nations taking the oath of allegiance, swearing fealty to this country, willing to enter into military service. And they come here because they love this country and they want to be part of it. And I understand the issue we have with the issue of dealing with undocumented and trying to move them forward. But I guess my question still remains for you. This bill comes back year after year, and if it's the same bill, where's the learning curve? So my first question to you is there a path to citizenship in this bill?
No, this is not something we deal with at the state level.
So there's no path to citizenship. There's no encouragement. There's no, even in the memo, that doesn't even speak to anything about encouraging.
But as you know, Mr. Lopez, we're at the State House. We don't deal with federal immigration process here.
We don't, but
and
yet...
This is an education bill that goes to open up tuition assistance for all New Yorkers.
So we talk about all New Yorkers, so let's go back and let's talk about all New Yorkers. What about the high school students in many of our impoverished communities? And our rural communities suffer as much as our inner city, where we have graduation rates that are very dismal, and where young people struggle just to make it through school if they can at all. And so in terms of resources, we have finite resources. We know we have budget deficits and they come and go, but this year we know we have more budget deficits coming. But we talk about the issuance of resources, but the question is, and I'm a parent, and I don't know, Mr. Moy, if you are or not, but I have to take care of my family, and then everyone else is an extension of family. So I take care of my family first, and then as the resources allow, the concentric rings grow larger, like the ripple in a pond. And I think all of us subscribe to the aspect of, yes, we help our family, then we help our neighbors, and then we broaden that. So we talk about a neighborhood that becomes a global community. I think all of us subscribe to that. But my question for you is, in this world, in this state, where we talk about residents, where we have students who cannot get through high school, where we have inequity, even in the primary and secondary level, students who can't get advanced degrees, students who don't graduate, special needs, how are we justifying the provision of resources to individuals who are not U.S. citizens? And I've asked this question before. We talk about dreams. So we'll talk about the dreams of the dreamers. Well, God bless the dreamers. We want to help them. But what about the dreams of our children who are citizens and residents who are struggling in poverty, who are struggling with special needs, who we can't even assist because we don't have the resources to assist them? How do we validate giving resources and taking food away from our immediate family to this other family that we care for, but how do we justify taking it away from our immediate family? I guess that's a
What's your question?
Say again?
What's your question?
So my question, if you were listening...
I was.
So I'll say it again.
Please.
Okay, we have lots of time, clearly.
Yes.
Is how can you justify taking resources from our people who need it, knowing that resources are finite, and give them to undocumented, and we're being kind with that term, when our own children don't have enough to eat, when our own children can't get through college or can't get to college, our own children aren't graduating? How can you justify that, Mr. Moya?
We're not.
Do you hear my question now?
I do. Let's have a collegial tone here, Mr. Lopez.
So I'm just asking you a question. You can hear me or not.
Day.
So this is not scripted. This
Gentlemen,
look,
gentlemen,
hold on.
Thank you,
Mr. Moya, Mr. Lopez.
This is a serious issue, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Question was asked. Mr. Moya, you will answer?
Thank you.
Or not?
Or not?
I won't.
Okay.
Gentlemen won't
Then we
answer.
just answer with a vote.
I no longer yield my time.
On the bill, Mr. Speaker. On the bill, Mr.
No,
Speaker.
sir. No, sir.
On the bill, Mr. Speaker. On the bill, Mr. Speaker.
On the bill, sir.
So again, our challenge, and we bring these things back year after year, the learning curve is, and we've expressed this before, and I said it very politely and very concisely, we want to help everyone. The reality is, with our limited resources, we can't. And so we should be focused on the people who are citizens, who need our immediate assistance in our inner cities, in our rural communities, elsewhere in the state, with high school graduation, getting through college. We want to help everyone, but we realistically have to place priorities. This is not a priority for the people of New York State. This is an important priority for certain neighborhoods, certain communities. It's a global priority, but it's not our immediate priority here in New York State. We need to take care of our own, make sure that they're well fed, they're cared for, graduate, have a life. And I cannot support this bill, Mr. Speaker.